Howdy, I'm Jake Timberlake. Hey, you know what? I have a brother named Randy. He kind of lives off the land. He lives about a mile away from me. He lives in a real rustic cabin that he built himself. Anyway, I bought him a cell phone and he's gonna record on it and then give me back the video, so enjoy the video of Randy Timberlake. Oh, and one more thing about the video. Randy lives off the grid, so he doesn't know technology very well. Anyway, when I gave him my phone, he recorded it in portrait mode, and that's why there's black lines in the video. I guess he has to learn as he goes along. Anyway, enjoy the video.
Well, my brother Jake, he asked me to film a little bit about myself for his internet site. Well, all right. Well, I live off the land mostly. Although most of us live off the land, we just don't all realize it. I guess you could say I live a little closer to the land than most other folks. I grow most of my vegetables. Get most of my protein from fishing and from eggs from the chickens. Yeah. You know, though, I don't think I'm the real interesting story for what my brother Jake's doing. I think it's more about what it's like to live in the Pacific Northwest, which is a bounty in itself. So I think instead of talking so much about myself, I'll take you around and show you a few areas that are close by to my place, and so you can see what it's like to live in the Pacific Northwest. Well, not too far down the path, we come across some goodies here. Let me show here. This is something I snack on all the time. These are called salal berries. That's S-A-L-A-L, and they're mighty tasty. In fact, I'm going to eat a few right now. Check that out, a nice little crop. I don't snack on too many. I like to leave plenty for the animals to eat. I like to share the land with all the animals and life around me. So thank you, salal plant. It'll give us a little energy to continue our exploration. Oh. All this talking about food, what I'd really like to find are some of them salmon bears. They're very good. Down the streets, salmon bears down there. You know, I thought I'd show you one of my favorite spots near my place. It's I call this my thought spot. That's because this is where I come to do my most complicated thinking and figuring. Like, you know, recently I figured out a way to harvest all the rainwater off of my roofs and my shed, and I use that rainwater, collect it in barrels and through pipes and everything else, and I use that water to water my garden. In fact, it meets all my needs for my garden for water. And you know what makes this place, particular place, such a great spot for thinking is that, you know, in the Pacific Northwest, we get some powerful storms up here, howling winds like you wouldn't believe. Down here in my thought spot, it can be calm as day. Wow, the wind is just whistling overhead up in the treetops. That's because we're down in a drainage. And it's always still and peaceful down here in this drainage. My thoughts. Well, we've arrived at the salmonberry patch I was telling you about earlier, and I'm sorry to disappoint you. No salmonberries this year. You know, I came here last season, and this particular area was just loaded with salmon berries. Salmon berries, they look a lot like blackberries, a little smaller, but they're all yellow. Beautiful berry. The birds just love feasting on them, but this year, no salmon berries whatsoever. You know, that's kind of the way it works up here in nature in the Pacific Northwest. Some areas you have bounty and plenty, and some seasons, scarcity. Well, I hope that gives you a little bit of taste of what it's like to live up here in the Pacific Northwest. I just showed you a few of my favorite places that are near where I live. You know, this is what you're looking for. And, you know, I don't know if I'm real comfortable with the idea of being in one of your other shows. I'm just not the Hollywood type, all right? That's kind of your realm, not mine. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be comfortable being around all those people and those big towns that you go into, like Crescent City. I'll tell you what, Jake, you're my brother, all right? And I'll think about it. I'll give it some very considered thought. All right. I'll think about it. I'll really think about it.
Boy, my brother Randy is sure a character, isn't he? Well, I'm almost back to my cabin. Goodbye.